So my wife and I are conducting a 211-day horseback journey across Canada. And the idea and the purpose of my ride is to reintroduce the Canadian people to their veterans and change the face of Canadian veterans. So often we think of a veteran as a 90-year-old man and not as the 40-year-old with multiple deployments on different continents, or the 25-year-old with a couple of deployments in Afghanistan, or like Africa or Haiti. I've got almost 8,000 kilometers in the saddle since I've left home. But that's one person's story. Like, for me to travel across Canada and tell my own story of the Balkans and transitioning out of the military is only my story. And it's maybe interesting for a few people for a few minutes, but I don't think it's newsworthy, and I don't think it's going to carry the message across Canada. Where the power in this ride is that we're including as many contemporary veterans as we can, and putting them in the saddle on these fantastic horses.
Are people affected by their service? Well, yes. But would they do it again? Yes. The hearts are in the right place, and they're just trying to do the right thing, so we need to support them. And
I met a lady in a shop. She had, so she was working behind a counter in just a little gift shop, and she recognized Regimental Crest on my jacket for what it was, asked me if I was in the Canadian military, and I said yes. And she, went on to share her own story of living through the siege of Sarajevo. And a couple of years she'd lived in an underground parking lot. Every time that they went outside, they faced machine gun fire and sniper fire. There was artillery fire most nights. They were starving. They had burnt all of their furniture to keep warm. And this was her reality. They were completely cut off from the outside world. And they were in a really bad way. And there'd been thousands and thousands of her neighbors, of her family, of like the people in her community who had been killed. And it was Canadian troops that broke that siege. It was Canadian troops that brought them aid, and it was Canadian troops that eventually got her out. So here we are in this shop in Vancouver. She's sharing this story with me, and I was telling her about my experience in the Balkans, and both of us are in tears. She's crying and I'm crying, and I'm worried that we're making a scene, like as the moment's passing. And I look back in the lineup, and there was like 6 or 8 other people there, and they were all in tears, and complete strangers. And I realized that there is power in a shared story.